so much. I'm like so honored to have been invited to share with you all. And I just want to kind of jump right to it. You know, I was what I would say is crashed awake when I was 23 years old. I was literally physically crashed into by a drunk driver and sustained a brain injury. And it turned my life completely upside down. I found myself in bed for 18 hours a day and really unable to handle input. And after a year, I was told by my doctors that this was just my new normal. And I am very grateful for the mindset that I have and that my parents had, which was that there was no way this was going to be my life at 24 for the rest of my life. And we just knew something was out there. And it was because of that knowing and persistence that we actually drew ASEA into our lives. And it's interesting because answers kind of come to us at times in ways we don't expect, in packages that we maybe aren't even open to. And I'll be honest with you, when this was first put into my path, I thought it was a scam. I thought the science made no sense. And I actually, for 6 months, refused to really engage with it. But thanks to my parents' persistence, eventually I did. And as I started to regain my mental clarity and sleep deeper and have energy again and realize that I was going to be able to work again and contribute to life, I realized my perspective had changed a lot. You know, I had been on the sidelines for several years, and I kid you not, my core group of friends from college, you know, they had gone on during this time to do amazing things. 2 of them had graduated from Harvard Business School, 1 from Yale Business School. 2 were en route to get their PhDs. 1 was in medical school and 1 was working with a very successful startup in New York City. And here I was, not having been able to work for several years. But I had an incredible therapist at the time, and he said, you know, Danielle, with everything that you've gone through, no, you won't get a diploma, but you've gotten life experience. You've gained emotional intelligence that is going to serve you in whatever you choose to do. And I just thought, okay, well, what is it that I want to do? Because it was very real to me how short life could possibly be, and that tomorrow isn't guaranteed for any of us. And so what am I doing with my day today? And I wanted to do something that I could have purpose and that I could have fun. And my mom, again, she said, well, Danielle, I think ASEA is your answer. And I was like, oh, network marketing, Mom? I don't think so. My experience up to that point had left me feeling like it was just the sleazy thing. And she said, you know, Danielle, you don't know what you don't know. So why don't you just come and experience it? Come to one of these big conferences, meet people, talk to the real people that are doing this and see what they're actually like. And so I thought, all right, fine, I'll go. And I ended up at an Envision conference, which is a conference where they talk about the soul of this company, the ethos of the company. And the founder was actually speaking for 8 hours. And it was an hour on each piece of the ethos. And I was on the edge of my seat the entire time because he was speaking truths. And what I mean by that is they are truths that I lived and understood the power of. And he was talking about one of the core pieces of the ethos is gratitude and the power that can have in your life. And I knew personally because it was a gratitude journal that had helped pull me out of my depression when I was in the throes of my brain injury. And he talked about a children's book of all things that really the story was about the power of being present and serving the people that you're with. And I knew the power of that because that's all I could do. I only had the moment and whoever I was with in that moment while I was getting well. And he talked about seeing people as people and not objects, and this concept of believe, belong, become. And I thought, who could I become if this is what this company represents? What kind of people are they attracting into it? And what is this community? Who are these people I'm going to get to learn from and connect with from around the world? And I just thought, you know what? I want to surround myself with these people and see who I can become in the process. And the entire rest of the conference, I just had goosebumps. I mean, my soul was just on fire knowing this was what I was supposed to do. And it was, you know, I just had these realizations that, look, with this type of business, I could create a stable income because I had this reality where I had not been able to work, so I couldn't earn an income. And I thought, never again. But here, you can create an income now that can serve you even if you can't put hours in down the road. And this was a space where I could be surrounded by like-minded people and supported, and it would allow for flexibility because I knew that I wanted to eventually have a family, but I didn't want to give up, you know, a career and a purpose. But I didn't want to outsource, you know, raising my own children. I wanted both. And I wanted to have purpose in my work. And so 5 years ago, I said yes. and I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure it out. And I look back now, and I never could have dreamed what has occurred. You know, my story has literally reached thousands of people around the world, people that I will never meet. And I have had the honor of meeting some of them that have come up to me in languages that I don't speak, and with tears in their eyes said that they heard my story, and because they heard it, it caused them to make a different choice, and it impacted their life. And I just thought, what an amazing industry, and where else can I go with this, and who else can I show to open the door to see what they can achieve here. And it's amazing because you have to really humble yourself. I mean, you have to put your ego aside because you have to learn. This is a very different type of thing. It's like you're going to school to learn something brand new. And you have to get very comfortable being uncomfortable and to be in that space. But I just thought, well, if network marketing can really do what I'm talking to these people and seeing it actually did in their life, well, how can I create that for me? And what does that look like? And so that's what I've been doing, and it's been amazing to watch, you know, since March, as we globally have been going through this pandemic. I have watched the world have to handle something that was very similar to what I handled after my accident, which is one thing where, you know, some of people have lost jobs and they don't know when and if they're going to be able to go back. We have no real certainty about what's going to happen tomorrow and what the future is going to look like. And people aren't sure where to turn, and people aren't allowed to do. They're being restricted from things that they otherwise would have been able to freely do. And I was in that space, and I understand it. And I want to show people what a beautiful option that we have here, and how through saying yes to this, you can start to take control of your future. You get to decide where you go from here. You get to start dreaming again, and you won't be laughed at. You won't be told that that's a fantasy. You will have people breathing belief in you and showing you that you can become more even than you think. Alan Noble, every time I see him, that man believes in me more than I believe in myself. And he has allowed me, he's kind of held the vision for me until I believed it on my own. And so I just want to encourage you, you know, what happens if you say yes? What's the worst thing that happens? Right? You get surrounded by, you get to meet some new people, you get to learn some new things, you get to push yourself a little bit. All it takes is getting through some of your own fears and doubts, all that chatter in our mind. And you don't have to worry about how to do this. All you have to do is make a decision, say yes, get into action, and the how will work itself out. It's like as you take the step, the path starts to become visible in front of you. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. And thank you so much again for having me.